Oh yeah, it's the weekend, and you know what that means. It's time for the most entertaining hour of your weekend. It's time for Pixels and Bits on theovershield.com. With your hosts, Corey and Parker. And now, broadcasting from the HQ in Missouri, it's time for Pixels and Bits. Welcome on to Pixels and Bits on theovershield.com. My name is Corey. Hi. What's going on, everybody? And welcome to the 4th episode of Pixels and Bits. And yes, you heard me right. 4. And if you're wondering, wait, where's episode 3? I will talk about that later. So it's myself and Parker is not here today, but instead we have our friend
Colin
from Ireland. Yes.
Ew.
And yes, this is going to be awesome.
Yeah, an exciting episode without Parker. He'll come back and we won't need him no more. I've stolen his place.
I was worried for a moment about like us not having him, and he's like, "Oh, you got that Irish guy, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah," and he said, "Okay, just give him a bunch of Guinness and he'll be fine." I'm like, "But I drank it all." And he's like, "Oh, then you're screwed."
I don't even drink Guinness. I don't drink Guinness. It's alright. I'm a cider monkey.
You're a cider monkey.
No, Guinness is too fucking... It's too stale for me, the taste of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Alright.
Same as beer. I don't even drink beer. Right, moving on.
I don't drink beer much, but Guinness is the only one I like.
Yeah.
Alright, so let's jump into the news desk, and we got quite a bit of stories, so hit the music. I wish I had a music button. Alright, so I got 5 news stories here, and most of these actually came out within the past day and a half. So these are interesting. One, first big one. This occurred last night. Blizzard has announced the next date for BlizzCon.
Oh yeah, I heard about this.
2013. There will be no 2012 BlizzCon. Blizzard is canceling their 2012 BlizzCon in favor of actually maybe finishing Diablo 3 and their other games. And their other games, I believe they're working on the StarCraft expansion, Diablo, World of Warcraft expansion, and some other MMO.
Yeah, they're working on a new MMO.
They're working their asses off.
Yeah, like World of Warcraft, they've been losing sales. Not like subscribers, so they're gonna need to get the next MMO out there.
Pandas will save the day.
Yeah, like there's a lot of people that's moved over to that Star Wars.
Yeah, and as much as I wish I could move over to it, I can't because I can't run it on my crappy IBM ThinkPad.
No.
No.
Like,
and I don't have a rig because my rig died out in like 2008.
I'm not a fan of MMOs anyway. In general, I've tried WoW a few times, but I've never got too far into it. I think level 15, as far as it goes for me.
Oh, I've been playing WoW since the beginning. I have a full level 85 character with the tier gear and everything.
So you're excited for the new expansion for that?
Hell no, I haven't played WoW in months.
Praise the Lord. So, so like they're moving, so it's not being put on to 2013. It's probably because they haven't really got anything to announce, because usually, like last year, they announced the new expansion, but like, haven't really got anything.
Yeah, instead they're going to be doing a BattleNet World Championships, and it's going to be taking someplace in Asia. $5 says it's Korea, because that's where most of the champions are.
and all the gold miners in China.
All the gold miners can pay their way over there. They're rich. Alright, so next story, and I'm hoping this one is true. This is a bit of a rumor. Microsoft might be getting rid of Microsoft points in favor of real, actual money. So instead of the point system, they're going to do what PSN does, and you have money.
Top it up. Yeah, I think it's a much better way, because like, you don't really know how much value is into your points.
See, like, I have the whole thing memorized, because what it is, it's 80 points equals $1.
Like in, what's that over here?
Yeah, it's that's the way I have it figured. So yeah, it's I mean, it's kind of simple math to figure out the points, but nobody likes to do math. And the only reason I do math is because when things get my way. So.
To be honest, I couldn't really, like, if a game's good, I'll buy it. I don't really care what the price is sometimes, because like some of the arcade games are really good, like Trials HD, and like I put more hours into like a simple game than I have done with, say, a full retail game. So the value's there.
Oh yeah, no, and I still get my full retail games too. I get maybe a full retail game once every 6-7 weeks, at least.
Yeah.
The spring is kind of a bit of a slowdown for me. Only things I'm really interested in are like Mass Effect 3 and Kingdoms of Amalur. That's really about it.
Yeah, I use a subscription service. It's called Love Film. There's a equivalent over there where you just pay like it's £15 here, so I think it's $15 over there, and you get 2 games sent out in the post.
15? Did you say £15?
Yeah, £15. It's 3 games over here. Sorry, so whatever it is over there.
And you guys use the British pound, right?
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be like $25 US.
Yeah.
Yeah, our currency isn't worth anything anymore.
The pound is really strong.
Yep. All right, next story. Remember the NeoGeo?
Yep.
Make it a cup. It's coming back. There's a NeoGeo handheld.
Personally, I've heard of it, but I've never actually known what games are on it. Like, who made it?
SNK.
Alright.
SNK is actually making a NeoGeo Pocket.
That's before my time.
Yeah, and so it will ship with 20 NeoGeo games built into it. It sports a 4.3-inch touch and 4.3-inch screen. Man, I'm tongue twisted today. 2 gigabytes of storage, a pretty good battery, and it's a little bit larger than an iPhone, and it'll support SD cards as well.
The games on it, were they 8-bit or 16-bit?
These are all like games that SNK has made. So these are like all from these are all games that they made from when they were from like their arcade stuff. So like I see Metal Slug in here, King of Fighters, Samurai Showdown, is all in there. Top Players Golf, Sengoku. Yeah, a lot of these ones I know. Fatal Fury.
Yes.
I mean, it's pretty cool. I'm just interested to see how much this thing will cost.
Yeah, it's one of them things that, like, it's the novelty of having it would probably be cool, like a portable SNES or something, but to be honest, I wouldn't go out and buy one.
Yeah. So personally, if I actually just wanted a Neo Geo, I'd just buy an arcade cabinet, a Neo Geo arcade cabinet, which I've seen, in my town, I've seen them run around for like $300 with the arcade cabinet with like 2 games in it, and then I'll just convert that until like bunch of and just get like all the cartridges, because the Neo Geo's arcade cabinets, how those work is instead of having the game built into the chipsets and everything, it's all swapped out through cartridges.
That's actually really cool. So you can play all games on the arcade sticks.
Yeah, this allowed owners of the arcade cabinets at like arcade like places, if they wanted the latest games, they didn't have to buy the arcade cabinet. They just had to buy the latest cartridge from NeoGeo, and all they had to do was open it up and swap them out. And this was genius because retailers loved this because like they didn't have to spend more. And the NeoGeo, they were just making a killing off of selling cartridges and selling the cabinets because the cabinets were really cost effective. That's why the NeoGeos were so big. That and the fact that Metal Slug and Samurai Showdown are just awesome.
I've only ever played Metal Slug, to be honest with you. I've never played any of the other games you listed.
Yeah, I some of the like King of Fighters and Samurai Showdown are pretty good. Personally, I'm more of a Capcom fighter guy.
Oh, Street Fighter.
Oh, I love Street Fighter.
My favorite.
Though I wish I had the arcade stick. I'm nowhere near as good without an arcade stick.
Like, there's many of them out there you can get. There's the Mad Catz one, arcade stick. You can get it on the Xbox.
Well, see, there's two kinds of fight sticks that you're thinking of. There's the cheap Mad Catz one that's like $50, and then there's the tournament one where you can actually pull it open and then modify everything.
Alright. There's neat.
Like Chad got one, and he opened it up, and he noticed that instead of an 8-point grid, the stick it was using a cheap 4-point, which makes it harder to play. And the 8-point is what's used in like tournament fighters and stuff like that. So he bought one of those for like $8, and he showed people how to replace it.
Alright.
Next story involves the next generation Xbox and the rumors about it.
That's what I want to hear.
Oh yeah, this comes from Kotaku's trusted source in gaming. The most trusted source in gaming, yes. The next generation Xbox may read Blu-ray discs instead of DVDs, and the discs can hold 50 gigabytes of data. And it'll use a new it's a CPU, will allow better Kinect tracking, and this one's interesting. It said it's going to employ a anti-used game system, restricting the ability to play second-hand games.
I read somewhere that it's 6 times more powerful than the 360.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like if that's like the Blu-ray is a given because the DVDs are too small. The used game market, like.
I know the Wii U is using custom proprietary format, but they're like it's still like a 25 gigabyte disc. So it's interesting, and it's interesting to see Xbox just hear these rumors about Xbox just being a powerhouse, which it would not surprise me if Microsoft decided to adopt the Blu-ray. The Kinect thing is kind of a given. The anti-used game system, I can't see that going through.
No, not gonna.
No, because at that point, I can guarantee you GameStop wouldn't even carry the system.
Yeah.
No, I mean, Jared brought up a good point about that last night in Hard News, and he said, "Hey, Microsoft, while you're at it, why don't you make everything DLC where you're at it? Turn the system on, that's $1. Open the tray up, that's $1. Play a used game, that's $2."
What's your stance? Are you ready for a new console yet?
I think it's about time. I've had my Xbox since the very beginning.
Yeah, so have I. Like you can see the limitations of it now. The PlayStation has maybe got a few more years, but I'm like.
I think the Battlefield 3 games like Battlefield 3 and Rage, with their newer engines, are now showing that the systems just can't hold up anymore. Especially games like Battlefield 3, where they look so great on the PC, and then you look at the console versions, and everybody's complaining, saying like, "Oh, it looks just like Battlefield Bad Company 2," and I'm just like, "Well, of course, both games were pushing the limit of the console."
It's mad how like years ago, like there was differences between the SNES and the Sega, but like no one really gave a crap. And now, like, if you look at Final Fantasy 13 on the Xbox and Final Fantasy 13 on the PlayStation, like, there's a wee bit of graphical difference.
Like,
but,
very
like,
small. It's the
yeah, and people make it out to be a big
The
deal.
only difference is a slight amount of anti-aliasing, and that's it.
Yeah.
So I do think it's about time that we have a new Xbox, or just new console generation, because this one's just kind of waning on.
To be honest, though, like, as games get more graphically better, the game development time goes up in them. Like, think how long Final Fantasy 13 needed to get made. It like took 6 years or something, and the game was like crap. And then if you compare that to like Fantasy 8, 9, or 10, which took like 2-year cycles between them, and them games are perfect. Like.
So by this logic, you're telling me that Kingdom Hearts 3 is going to take 50 years to complete?
And it'll probably be crap, to be honest.
Everybody who like played Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 will be dead by the time Kingdom Hearts 3 comes out.
They're brilliant games.
You know what Square Enix needs to do?
Rethink.
Just rethink. And I think they need to jump in the rehash business, basically just bringing out older games.
Oh, they do that a lot anyway with like Fantasy 4 and stuff. But
do that with like games like Final Fantasy 6 or Final Fantasy 7, and they would make tons of money.
Yeah, like they try too hard. That's what I like about Square Enix. They try too hard. Like they put a lot of effort into their games to make them look brilliant. But like if they just kept their games simple, like the older PS1 and PS2 titles. If they just kept it simple, they wouldn't have to spend so much to make the games, and like the fans would love them because the old games are brilliant. Though.
Yeah. So, all right, let's move on to our last story, and this was probably the biggest story that came out of this week. You can probably already guess what it was.
I have not. I have no idea.
What was the biggest trailer released this week?
Oh yes, I know what you're on about now. Resident Evil 6.
Resident Evil 6 was announced.
And the logo looks like a giraffe sucking off another man. Or sucking off a man. Have you seen it? You cannot look at that logo and not think of that now.
I can never look at that logo this again.
Animality. Oh, bestiality, innit? They killed the black people in Africa. Now they're going after the animals sucking.
Oh. Well, now, it's going to be featuring both Leon Kennedy and Chris Redfield.
Yep.
And it's rumored to have 6-player co-op. So, 5 times more Sheva. Awesome. Need ammo.
Resident Evil for me it's not a franchise that they've changed it too much. The first 3 games are like unbelievable, and then 4 and 5 are a load of crap. Like 4 was good, but the formula they could have made that a spin-off game. They didn't need to change the way the camera works and all, just the gameplay style.
Oh yeah, the thing I hate about 4 and 5 is you can't move and shoot.
Oh, and shoot, yeah.
It's just like you run away, then turn around and just shoot like 3 bullets, and then just keep running away. It's the most annoying thing in the world.
Yeah, like that game came out in 2010, and still can't get like a simple gameplay mechanic right.
Yeah. But
right.
That and the probably my favorite part of this whole story is the return of regular zombies.
Yeah.
Which have been missing for like 8 years? There hasn't been a Resident Evil game with regular zombies since the PS1.
In the 4th game, it was like I thought there were zombies, and then they turned out to be some other thing. I can't remember what the word was for them.
What was the word? Oh yeah, you're talking about the Los Plagas or something like that. I don't remember what they're called. Yeah, they weren't zombies. They were just like parasites in people's brains or whatever. They were taking over them, and like people had like no control, so they were like being forced to throw axes at you and stuff like that. It was a stupid thing. I didn't like it.
Ha ha ha, matalo. That's what they used to say when they came after you. Ha
What was the guy's name with the chainsaw? It was Dr. Salvador or something like that. Man, first time I saw him, I would crap my pants. That was the scariest thing in the world.
Yeah, the bag overside.
Yeah, just a guy with the farmer-looking guy with like a mesh bag or something over his head, and just running with a chainsaw, running at full speed, just charging at you. Man, it took me a while to actually just get around him, just because like I thought the guy was unbeatable for a while.
Yeah, because you had to shoot him a lot. The trailer was good though. There was a lot of action in it, but if like I said, if they had just made that a spin-off series, that would have been fine.
Yeah.
But
so yeah, that's the. So let's move on. That's Resident Evil 6, and so let's move on to our middle segment. And our middle segment this week, well, we got two miniature middle segments this week. First one being is the missing episode. We were talking about SOPA and PIPA and what our stance is. And during that episode, we had announced that we were joining up with sites like Screw Attack and Extra Credits, and that we were going to join up with them and protest against the ESA and boycott E3 because the ESA supported SOPA and PIPA. And I think it was literally like a day or two after we recorded that episode, ESA came out and said, yeah, we don't support it anymore. And everybody's starting to drop the boycott. I'm hesitant to do so, just because of the fact that I have this feeling in the back of my head that the ESA is going to pull a real dick move and support SOPA at some point. And I
wouldn't be too worried. Like, all the senators were changing their mind, saying they didn't want to go up against it. I think Jose, the Screw Attack member, he posted the link which showed the current senators' stance on the bill, and like it done it day by day, and each day the people that were against it, the tally just kept rising and rising. So it's one of the bills that it is going to pass eventually, but they're going to have to cut out a lot of the bullshit that's in the bill. There's too much garbage.
Here's the thing, I don't think it'll actually ever pass. I think it's gotten way too controversial, and if they actually pass it, then the politicians are realizing that they're compromising their own jobs.
Yeah, they'll have to just change the bill, because the way it's worded, it affects too many people. It won't even hit the parts. There's always going to be parts.
No,
and they will
here's
always
the thing, though. Okay, you know how Mega Upload was recently shut down by the U.S. government.
Yeah.
And here's the way I see it. Mega Upload didn't really do anything wrong. They didn't provide pirated content. They necessarily weren't violating copyright. It was their users who were uploading everything. The only reason Mega Upload got in trouble is because they decided not to take any action against the users.
Well, you could say that about the Pirate Bay too.
Well, yeah, it's the same exact thing could be said about Pirate Bay. However, same thing could be said about YouTube.
YouTube, yeah.
So, if by this logic, if this is why the U.S. government is arresting them, and putting them on trial, then why not the same logic? Why not put the executives of Google on trial while you're at it?
Yeah, because you can get from Mega Upload through Google.
Yeah, but, well, I mean, it just doesn't make sense. Why go after the host? You're not going after the source. You're just going after an intermediary.
It's bull.
And you're not helping anybody, because then the guys who still provide the pirated content, they'd be like, oh, well, I'll just put it up somewhere else. And the problem continues.
But the thing is, like, you can't really monitor that. There's too much. Like, if YouTube had, like, turned around and goes, oh, we're going to stop people from uploading copyright, like, how many people would they need to employ just to, like, manhandle that there situation? Like, there's thousands, millions of videos get uploaded every day. You can't really stop that.
No, you can't.
No. They're in a situation.
I don't think the politicians realize how big this is.
Yeah.
That this is literally so big that it's just there's no way you can provide actual productive and efficient measures to stop it. And some companies like Valve have actually proven that Valve has actually gone and proven that they can actually stop piracy in other countries. One of the things they did, Gabe Newell came out and he said that piracy, the reason people pirate is not because of high prices, but because of poor service. So to prove his point, he began to offer Steam in Russia, which was the first, and Russia has one of the highest concentrations of pirate users in the world. Within literally a few months, they began making tons of profit from Russia, and piracy went down.
That's true, because Steam's very, like, it's, when I log into Steam and I see a deal, there is deals, and it's easy to access. It keeps everything together, because one thing about PC gaming is it gets messy. If you're trying to, like, manage all your games, all your patches and stuff, Steam keeps everything simple.
Well, especially back in the old days, before Steam. I remember when I got Battlefield 2, and it wasn't on Steam for a time being, and you had to manage everything with Punk Buster and everything, and then when you had to do patches, you had to apply them manually, and it was a big ass pain, and
a lot of hard work.
It was a lot of work. It literally took me an hour after I downloaded the patch to finally get everything ready, and then I could finally boot up the game to play whatever the hell was in the patch. Especially if it was a big patch, like Wake Island or something like that, which was, I believe, like the first patch or second patch or something like that. But alright, so let's just in that, it's in the ESA thing saying that we no longer are boycotting the ESA, though I'm still a little hesitant, but we are no longer boycotting. So this means that we are going to cover E3. We will not attend because we are poor.
Yeah, we are poor.
It's literally like $900 for a press badge.
And I'm 2,000 miles away.
I thought you had a teleporter.
Oh, that's right.
All right.
Yeah, there's one in my back pocket.
It's like Lex Luthor. I have a teleporter, you know. Yes, we know. Stuck in traffic. Oh, the hell with this. I'm teleporting. Our next one is pretty much over the missing episode. Episode 3, and where is it? Technically, this is episode 4, and it'll remain named episode 4. And I will put episode 3 up eventually, probably sometime in the middle of next week. But so this means you'll get double the Pixels and Bits content in 1 week to make up for the lack of 1 week. But what happened is there was a lot of audio file issues, problems with my editing software Audacity. Yes, I go through the very slow and painful route, but it gets the job done, and I don't have to pay a thing. But it's just a lot of bullshit happened, and that's the best way to put it. And it was just that's a pretty good way to say it. That's a pretty good way to say it.
No, Audacity can crash a lot of times. It's really unreliable at times.
It can be really unreliable.
Yeah.
And think the biggest mistake I made is I made the biggest rookie mistake you can do, and I tried to plow through the whole thing all at once, and by doing so, I didn't save, and that's the dumbest mistake you can make, and I made that mistake, and because of that, that's why you guys don't have a Pixels and Bits episode, is because when Audacity crashed, I didn't have a backup, and I began working on I began reworking on it, but it became at a much slower pace due to just, well, developments with everything. We're trying to plan all this new content for you guys and everything. I'm still planning with Parker. We're trying to come up with at least 2 or 3 top 11s to come out with in the next month and a half, month or 2 months. And just let's see, and Colum, he has a couple shows he's working on.
Yeah, just so people know, I am not a podcast dude. That's why I'm not as quick on the mic as Corey over here.
Yeah, Colum is actually our video and graphic design guy, and he was also.
I'm just filling in.
And for a while he was also our partner of the Gaming News Bench. And you want to tell them why you're no longer doing Gaming News Bench and you're with us?
Yep. So basically, I started Gaming News Bench by myself, and a few mates done a few like videos from which were basically music. Anyway, I was doing basically the same videos and had the same ideals that Corey and his mate Parker had. So instead of me doing basically the work I was doing by myself, I thought it would have been better if I basically joined them and give them a hand, and then that's what the idea was at first, and then basically I just didn't want to do it by myself, and I thought their idea was really good, so I'd rather just work with them, to be honest with you.
Alright.
Man, I'm so bad in the mic. I seriously, see, without no planning, but I get lost.
I think we all can get lost in the mic and in our own voices.
No, you're actually very good. You're very, very professional. If I do say so myself.
If I had a voice of like somebody like Morgan Freeman or like the movie trailer guy, I would get lost in my voice all the time. I would love to talk just to hear myself.
Or the bum with the golden voice. Yeah. He's on Craig.
Yeah. Alright, so that was a very quick mini segment. So thing is that our missing episode went missing. Thanks to Audacity, but it's being worked on and will be uploaded sometime next week, which means you guys get double the Pixels and Bits goodness. So there you go. And that ends our quick middle segment. So now it is time to move on to people doing stupid. Hit the music. So, I got a couple stories. I got 3 stories actually. All these are, I think, are pretty good. First one, I think everybody knows. I think a lot of people know about this one. This one's just circulating around the internet. I'll just read you the headline: Indian teacher stunned by $10 billion bank balance.
Give me a bit of that.
A high school teacher in India with a monthly salary of about $700 was astonished when a routine online check of his bank account showed a balance of almost $10 billion. I'm trying to pronounce his name. Prajat Saha from the town of Baluchat in West Bengal State said he had checked his State Bank of India account online last Sunday to confirm the reception of 10,000 rupees, or $200 in interest payment. Instead, I saw this astronomical amount, he told AFP by telephone. The account showed a balance of 496 billion rupees. Question, why doesn't this happen to me?
Yeah, why doesn't it happen to me? What would you do with that amount of money?
I would just like tell some of my closest friends, we just like, hey guys, we're getting out of the US. Come on, let's go.
Wait, where would you go? You just have the sun over there. Oh no, you would. You'd buy an island or something. We small island.
I go and buy out the Isle of Man.
Oh, it's the Isle of Man. The weird looking cats. It's like the Persians. It's like, have you ever seen the cats that come from that place?
Yeah.
They've no tails. I'm surprised you even have heard of that place.
Isle of Man?
Yeah.
I've heard about it.
Yell of Woman.
Now that would be interesting. Alright. So, let's move on to our next story. This is the one that Craig, the man who always says something offensive or something on side scrollers, just says something bad in general, would not do. Here we go. Flaming tampons attack on car. Pennsylvania police arrest Quentin and Patricia DeShong.
What was going on? What were they doing?
Okay, so
do I even want to know?
Alright, so
Flaming tampons.
Pennsylvania State Police say Patricia DeShong, 25, and Quentin DeShong, 22, who were arrested January 7th in Meadow Township, Pennsylvania, after allegedly attempting to blow up a vehicle outside of a bar using flaming feminine hygiene products.
What the? What were they doing?
Oh, okay. So, I guess they were doing them like Molotov cocktails or something?
Oh, yeah, like petrol bombs. You can just fix it and lighten it up and so on.
Let's see. Police allegedly found the windshield, rear window, and driver's side windows shattered, as well as dents on the body side of the car. Police also spotted blood in the front passenger seat.
The police officer's blood?
No, I don't know where the blood came from.
The tampon. It was a used tampon.
Oh God, no.
Oh. And Craig wouldn't say that story.
No, because he hates the two words that he absolutely hates are tampons and panties.
Alright. So after talking about that,
and Jared and Chad had come up with the idea of having Craig run through a haunted house and the ghosts are throwing panties and tampons at him.
panties and tampons, flaming tampons.
God. Yeah, I just. Oh, there's that car we hate. We don't have Molotovs. Honey!
Honey, take out your tampon.
God. I don't get it.
No, I don't get it. There's some weird beards about.
Oh, there's some weird people in the world.
Yeah.
Alright, so, next story. Driver too drunk to know that his tire's gone.
I can just imagine this. Driving down the road and like the car isn't even going straight because it's going off to one side and he doesn't even know.
Florida man charged with drunken driving was so out of it he did not realize the left front tire of his Lexus was missing. Kevin Blazer, 34, was arrested Wednesday morning in Newport Richley, the Tampa Bay Times reported. A Pasco County Sheriff's deputy said he pulled Blazer over after noticing smoke and sparks coming from the place where the tire should have been.
Idiot. Absolute idiot. Like, was he arrested? Oh no, he was arrested. So he was drunk. Yeah.
And he wasn't even that drunk, I'm guessing. Well, because his blood alcohol level was at .131.
Is that a lot?
The limit in most states is .08, which is like 2-3 beers.
Ah, so it's just a wee bit
So
over.
this means that he had like 5-6 beers.
So he's just an idiot, basically.
I don't think he was drunk. I mean, I think he was just being I think he was just an idiot.
Yeah.
How does an idiot afford a Lexus?
Idiot and disorder.
Aha! So, that was some interesting news stories. We got a person I wish I was with a $10 billion bank account.
Oh, yep.
Wait, actually, I forgot to mention something back in this story. He did something. Damn it! I would have. I don't think I would have done this in his shoes. He called up a friend who worked at the bank and said, "Hey, you guys made a mistake."
Would you not just withdraw all the money and go on some flight off to some other different country with big bags of gold?
Yeah.
Or big bags of rupees.
I now have that picture in my head where someone like photoshopped like Link's outfit onto Fry from Futurama.
Yeah, holding the rupees. Riding off into the sunset on Epona.
The Indian Link.
Yeah.
Oh God. Alright, so that is the end of people doing stupid. And once again, for the third week in a row, I have not received pretty much any form questions. Or just any questions in general. I've started up a forum.
You
I
have?
did. I forgot what the URL was.
Oh.
Well, because I tried to make it form.theovershield, and for some reason it wouldn't work, so I put in something else, and I don't remember what else it was.
Sure, you'll get it then.
flamingtampon.overshield.com.
If it's just Flaming Tampon. That's actually a good name of the show.
Sounds like an indie
Like a
rock
show
band.
Flaming Tampon.
We're Flaming Tampon. We're gonna rock your face off.
Gonna rock your world.
Oh God.
And then you can just see the crowd throwing flaming tampons at the, you know, the way like people throw fruit at the band
Yeah.
suck it. So that's on flaming
I think we
tampons.
need to stop talking about Flaming Tampons, but that story is so ridiculous. I can't stop thinking about it. It's so awful. Alright. So, since we don't have any formal questions, alright, for listeners, if you guys want to ask us any questions that aren't horrible, and when I mean horrible, I don't want someone to send me a question saying, "What's your favorite color?" I'll just tell you right now, it's blue.
Is it? Mine's green.
How stereotypical that sounds.
Yeah, I'll give you a reason why. No, I like blue too, actually.
So, instead we're going to do something that Epic Battle Cry does, and that's we're going to do a shout out. Basically what this means is when we don't have form questions, we're going to do what Epic Battle Cry does, which is what they do the shout outs, which is when they give a shout out to their either like favorite game, favorite developer, or whatever, something in the game industry. So, Colin, why don't we start with you? Do you have a shout out?
You gotta give me you go first. I've not planned.
You don't have one planned?
No, she didn't tell me.
Alright.
That's the first I heard of it.
Alright, so, our shout-outs, my shout-out this week goes to... Oh no, I'm having to think, but, you know, I'm just going to give my shout-out to SNK for the NeoGeo handheld that's coming. Or supposedly coming, I'm guessing. because that's pretty ballsy to jump into the handheld market. Not many people do, and most people who do don't have a plan. Who is that company that revealed back at like E3 like 2 years ago or something that they were making a handheld? It was like the Jungle or something like that.
I think it was Ubisoft. Is that where they had the people come on stage?
Yeah, I don't think it was Ubisoft. I think it was like Panasonic or something like that. It was like some electronic company, and it literally never made it out the door. It was rejected immediately, even at E3, and that just never made it out. So I give props to SNK for doing this, and they're a well-known and beloved company that this could. That they can't compete with Nintendo and other companies like Nintendo, Sony, but I have to give them props anyway because that is pretty ballsy, and they will sell. The people love SNK.
So, like, does that game only play them 40 games then?
No, it takes SD cards, so you can load more games onto it. My guess is that they'll they'll try and convince people to say, "Hey, support our thing here," and just load the game on the SD cards. But the thing's no bigger than an iPhone.
Oh yeah, so that's handy enough. Right, my shout out.
Yes.
Yep. Right, having not had time to think about it. There was a video on, I think it was Kotaku the other day, where it showed it was a hack on the PlayStation Vita. However, it's not like piracy or anything like that, but it was like, you know the way it's like the PSP, you can use it as a remote play on the PlayStation 3. Well, the fella, I think he was Russian actually, he was using his PlayStation Vita to play PlayStation 3 games. He was actually playing Red Dead Redemption, Battlefield 3, and a few other games. I can't remember which other ones they were, but I think that is really cool. I'm a sucker for Red Dead Redemption, and I wish I could play it in my Vita.
You're a sucker for westerns?
Oh, I'm a big Clint Eastwood fan. Huge.
Are you a fan of John Wayne?
Huge. No, John he's his films are crap. There's too many of his videos that I don't know. John Wayne.
Hey there, Pilgrim.
No, so yeah. John Wayne. Is he still alive?
I think he's dead.
Oh. Actually doing a wee Google search of him now. He's long dead. No, so yeah, I would people should check it out because I think it's really good if you have a Vita and then you have a PlayStation 3. I think it's, if you want to just sit back and enjoy it on a controller. I don't know why you would want to do it on your Vita, but I think it just shows off the power of the Vita to be able to play it in games. And it was just playing it off the screen, but I think it's still cool.
Yeah. Personally, I'm not a big fan of the Vita, just because I just don't think there's a market for it anymore.
Yeah. I'm a big portable gamer. I just like laying back in bed, and like when I say portable, I would never take a portable outside. To be honest with you, I just lay back in bed.
I take it with me if I'm going like somewhere outside my house where I can't bring my console. So if I'm going down to like another family's home or something like that, or if I'm on an airplane or car ride, then yeah, I'll bring it. But it's not like I'm gonna be on the bus and I'm just gonna break it out.
Yeah, that's how different our lifestyles are. Like you, like if you're going to like somewhere, your bus trips might be longer than like where I live. I live in walking distance to my school. I live walking distance to where I work. Everything. It's small.
Yeah, I have to drive 10 minutes to get to school and work.
Oh, so you can't play when you're driving unless you're mad in the head.
No, I can just drive with my knees.
And have a busted wheel and not know what's wrong.
Officer, I swear, I was trying to beat the last level.
I swear, I passed my test with my knees. It's a disability.
Alright, so let's just wrap this up. So that is episode 4 of Pixels and Bits, and we hope you guys enjoyed it, and I would like to thank our special guest, Colum, for taking his time out to join us.
And you'll probably never hear from me again, because Corey's a great host.
Anything you want to say before we go, Colum?
There are a lot of exciting things coming up in the Overshield, both from Corey, and I hope to get a few shows myself going. And so stay tuned. Good things are coming.
Yep, good things are coming, and we got some reviews coming your way. We got still working on the Minecraft review wheelhouse, so I have a review of Assassin's Creed Revelations, and I'm currently, I believe I may have found a writer for this one, but if not, I am looking for a reviewer for Final Fantasy 13 too, because I just don't have the time to do it myself. And and we're always accepting people for writers, reviewers. And if you guys want to help contribute, just email me at Corey@theovershield.com. That is CORY@theovershield.com. And let's see, we also have Columns working on his 2 new shows, which are
The Hall of Fame and the Hall of Shame. That sounded terrible.
And then we're also working on. We changed the name of our of the vault to, what is it now? The Crypt. We haven't really settled on a name, but just think of it. I think I explained this on the missing episode actually. What it is that it's like a. Think like Screw Attack's video game vault, where we just randomly review all these different old video games, but we actually review them. We don't just talk about them.
So it's kind of like a retro.
Yeah, it's a retro review,
games.
and the reason we came up with something like The Crypt or something like that is because these are games that are just long forgotten. And I'm looking for, and like most of our reviews will be like over obscure or old school games. Occasionally we'll bring up like a classic, maybe Mario or something like that, but it's going to be mostly obscure stuff.
Yeah, I think it's good, because there are a lot of games out there that do get overlooked, like Screw Attack and all. Even them, if you ever look at their top 10s, they're usually just top 10 games that you've heard of. It's very rare that they do a game that you've never heard of before. Because I know a lot of classic games that I've played that hardly make it into their list, and then I see games that they put in their list, which, I don't know.
Yeah. Alright, so let's end it. That is, once again, that is Pixels and Bits, episode 4. My name is Corey.
My name is Colum.
And we will see you all next week. Bye-bye, folks.
Bye.